Hooday and what is up, Bengals fans? Had to jump in. It is Victory Tuesday. The Bengals win over the St. Louis Rams 19-16 in a revenge Super Bowl game. Felt so good, didn't it? Feels good to be in the win column. My name's Sztanyo. I am, normally I'm doing things about real estate, but today I haven't done one of these live responses to a game in a little while. I thought I should do that. I've got a little energy. Even though stayed up pretty late watching that game, but fired up after that win. Thought I'd do a little segment called Sztanyo the Fanyo because I am the self-proclaimed #1 ranked Cincinnati Bengals fan in the Cincinnati Real Estate Agent division. So, for what it's worth, let's talk about the game a little bit. Man, that was awesome, wasn't it? It felt good. Season's not over. Thought the season was going to be over. Everyone was a little nervous in that first half, weren't you? I heard the boos raining down at Paycor Stadium. I know people didn't like not taking that shot at the end zone at the end of the half. Before made sure we got that 3. But jump in here, Bengals fans. Want to hear what you thought about the game? I've got some thoughts. I'm going to share a little bit about market up and market down segment in a little bit. But let's review it here. Let's take a look. Bengals outlast the Rams to pick up their first win. The defense made the difference for sure. And hey, Joe Burrow's calf is still intact, so that's a good thing. So the Bengals grounded out the Los Angeles Rams offense to pick up their first victory of the season, winning 19-16 in Cincinnati. Here's what you need to know. It was a rematch of Super Bowl 50. I got to do my math. 56. The Bengals hounded Rams quarterback Matt Stafford all night, sacking him 6 times, intercepting 2 of his passes, and limiting him to 269 yards after he racked up 641 in the first 2 weeks of the season. And so Hendrickson was all over Matthew Stafford all night. This was, I think, my favorite tweet of the night that this guy put out there, Seth Reese. Give him credit. Sucks having backup offensive linemen in big games, doesn't it? I just, as the game went on and I started feeling it a little bit, and it was probably the extra old fashioned that I had at around midnight or whatever it was. But were you guys feeling that? Were you feeling like getting those Super Bowl demons, getting exercise? I was chatting with my buddies. I'm like, this feels really good. So every time Stafford, I don't care if they had backup linemen or not. It felt really, really good to win that game, to get the Super Bowl rematch. I know we just wanted the win in general, but as the game went on and as we had the lead and we kind of took over, it felt really good hitting Stafford. It felt really good, Logan Wilson getting those interceptions. So yeah, big win. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, who was questionable for the contest all week leading up to Monday, finished with 259 yards. Not bad. 26 of 49 passes with no touchdowns. And we left some meat on the bone. It was not a clean game by any stretch. We left some meat on the bone for sure. Running back Joe Mixon scored Cincinnati's lone touchdown on 14-yard rush in the third quarter. Bengals kicker Evan McPherson, who was a little dicey, but he got it done when we needed to. He missed the first one. He banged in another one, but he had 4 field goals, all from at least 48 yards out. No question of his leg, and good to see him sneak those in. So I'll just run these highlights in the background. I wanted to go through, since I am, like I said, the self-proclaimed #1 Cincinnati Bengals fan in the Cincinnati Real Estate Agent division, I wanted to introduce a segment here called Market Up, Market Down, okay? Because the real estate market is always going up and down. We're going to do the same thing for the Cincinnati Bengals and what happened in the game here. Man, how big was that play by Nick Scott getting Tutu Atwell's heel just slightly outside? I mean, that was a 4-point play. That was a huge shot by Nick Scott. Good hustle play. Appreciated that. Okay, market up. #1 thing for me that's market up is Joe Burrow's calf didn't blow up. I mean, I said it multiple times to my friends all week. I didn't want him to play. I was like, marrchase, hey, I don't want you to play. Huge stack here by DJ Reader. Boom. Love that. And so Joe's calf is still intact. I don't think he knew, right? I don't think he knew how I was going to go. That big rollout play to Chase late in the third or fourth quarter. I know Zach Taylor, I heard in the press conference, said, hey, do you think you can do that? And Bro's like, yeah, I think so. But he didn't know until he did it. So it's still kind of like this thing. We're going to be dealing with it all year. No question we're going to be dealing with that calf, but it didn't blow up last night. Also, market up, I think, a sub market up with Joe's calf is the O-line. I mean, there's one market down section I have in this in terms of Cordell Volson, but overall, Market up was huge for the O-line. In fact, let me show you guys this tweet by, where's my cursor? By Jay Morrison, formerly of The Athletic. Let me pull this up here. Bengals fans are feeling good today. Check out this tweet. So in terms of sacked through 3 games in the Taylor era and quarterback hits taken through 3 games. Last year, 3 games in, Joe Burrow was sacked 15 times, 14 times in 2020. He's only been sacked 5 times. And he dropped back how many times last night? 49 times, which was crazy. No one thought that would happen. And he's been hit in 2023. He's been hit 20 times. So 3rd highest or 3rd lowest, however you want to look at that. So not a lot of sacks. He's getting hit. And he was in that pocket a lot last night. O-line was looking good. So that's market up for me is O-line and Joe Burrow's calf number 1. Second thing, Marrchase, welcome back, right? Huge game. What was this? But this was so weird by ESPN, by the way. Right in the middle of the game with the split screen. Terrible. Can't believe they did that. Market up number 2, Marrchase. Huge game. I think it was 12 receptions, 141 or 144, something like that. I mean, he looked great. First time all year, Jamar looked great. And Joe kept feeding him. Taylor was getting active with him in terms of pre-snap motion. And we just kept feeding Jamar, and he kept showing up. So awesome for Jamar. Market up number 3, Cincinnati's defense. I mean, just overall, but I want to highlight 3 people in particular. Dax Hill looked great, didn't he? I mean, he was flying around. He had that huge sack where he came in. He was shot out of a rocket when he made that sack. I was like, whoa, he got in there fast. Here it is right here, actually. Dax Hill, bam. That felt so good. He came flying in there. Matthew Stafford never even saw him coming. Had a big pass breakup on Tyler Higbee. So big, huge game by Dax Hill. Also, Logan with the 2 interceptions. How good did that feel to have 2 interceptions by Logan Wilson on the Super Bowl revenge game where he got called for that egregious holding call in the Super Bowl? Felt nice to have Logan get those 2 picks. That was awesome. And then Trey Hendrickson was just eating. Blackout Trey came to play. And in that 4th quarter, he was just getting after it, wasn't he? So that's market up. The defense, I mean, they really won the game in a game where we knew we needed them to step up. With Joe Burrow, clearly not 100%. Clearly the game plan is limited with Joe not being able to roll out of the pocket, not being able to do anything under center. So that limits the run game as well. Market up on the defense. Huge game for them. Next thing I want to mention, number 4, market up, is Cincinnati fans. You guys came out again. The whiteout looked awesome. I mean, something happens with these guys when they're playing under the lights, right? They're 6-0 now under the lights, I believe, in the Zach Taylor era. The white uniforms are fly. I mean, the players look good. They feel good when they're wearing them. And so shout out to Cincy. I mean, it's becoming like we expect to win these games, whereas we all know in the Andy Dalton era, we hated playing these games. We hated being embarrassed. And we were just like, oh, don't get embarrassed, please. And now we're like, no, come into our house and play. Look at that Mixon touchdown was huge. First lead of the entire season. We got up and we stayed up. So that was awesome to have. And then, man, Trey was getting after it. Defense was balling out. I mean, Stafford still got it, but defense played well. So that's market up. Number 4 was the fans and just the city of Cincinnati. We had the Ring of Honor. There's that second pick. You love to see it. Market up. Number 5, playoff hopes are back in business, right? We still, our season was saved. I was definitely resetting my expectations, and who knows, at any moment, if Burrow's calf goes, then the season is probably in shambles. But we got through the game. We're going to treat it again. Hopefully get through the game again with, not a great Titans team, not a great Arizona team coming up, and then Seattle at home, I believe. So can we get into that bye? Can we win the next 3? Could we actually get to 4-2 before the bye and then come out of that bye, really rocking and rolling with a healthy calf? That would be best case scenario, right? Here's McPherson again to put us up by 10, 54-yard attempt. So, okay, those are the market up sections. Now I want to talk about market down. So some things that I thought didn't go all that well in the game. Let's talk about them. First up for me was there's some late garbage time. pass that led to a touchdown for the Rams. Number one was T. Higgins. Let's talk market down, then we'll come back to this, and we'll come back to these highlights in just a second. But T. Higgins, what a weird game from T. And I said it early on when I was chatting with my buddies, I'm like, what's going on with T? Because his body language, he had a drop early on. He wasn't fighting through contested catches, which he usually at least gets more than 50-50 on those. Weatherspoon was playing a really good game. That pick by Weatherspoon was really incredible play, impressive play by him. T. Higgins just did not look right at all. Multiple drops, went into the locker room. Don't know what was going on there. Hope to see him back, but man, it hurt. It hurt the game plan. We had a few big first downs that we would have had, and we kind of got a little off schedule. So thank goodness Jamar was there, but not a great game by T. Higgins. That's rare. Don't usually see that. Mark it down, number 2. Irv Smith. Irv didn't play. I think it was a hamstring issue. And, this segues a little into a market up for Tanner Hudson because, Tanner Hudson looked good. He was in the right spot. I mean, less that one play he got tripped up on, that hurt early on in the first half, where we had a third down. It looked like he was open to make the play, but he got his legs tripped up and fell. But other than that, he looked like a baller. He looked better than Irv Smith to me. In what I've seen, not only has Irv not made the plays when he's been called up, but it seems like he was in the wrong spot multiple times in that Cleveland game. So I don't know. Do we keep Irv, or do we keep Tanner Hudson up? Because you're starting to see the benefit of Mitchell Wilcox. You might put down Mitchell if Irv is active next week. I don't know, but what you saw was Hudson got the call up, and he leaped over both Sample and Wilcox in terms of targets, I believe, in the game. And he stepped up. He was there. He made some big plays. I still like having Sample up there. You noticed late in the game, maybe a couple times in the game, you saw Sample in the backfield. That's one thing I thought they would maybe do a little bit more of. We had all the talk in the offseason about the third down back and who's going to block in passing situations. I was like, why don't you throw Drew Sample back there? He can block. And I saw that a couple times last night. Tell you what, I don't mind it. Give Joe a little bit more time in that pocket, especially when he can't move out, and especially where you've got Aaron Donald coming in all the time, or whoever that pass rush is coming in. Put Drew Sample back there. I could see more of that, but mark it down for Irv Smith. Mark it up for Tanner Hudson. Last little piece. Speaking of Aaron Donald and never wanting to see that guy again, is Cordell Volson. And while this O-line is looking good overall, Cordell just got beat again and again and again and again. You're playing against a Hall of Famer, right? And so you're not gonna have a great game against Aaron Donald. I get it, but Volson was struggling. There was a lot of hype in the offseason. You hear Dave Lapham say he's going to make a leap. You hear Joe Mixon say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Just not happening, right? We're not seeing that. And particularly, I always see him he gets beat on one-on-ones, but he also gets beat on stunts and twists a lot. It's like he stays with a guy too long and can't quite figure out these stunts and twists. So we need him to step it up. It looked like a good game to me from OBJ, Orlando Brown, and Karras and Kappa. And I don't remember Jonah getting beat at all last night. So overall, to me, it looked like the cleanest pockets Joe had all year. And he was trying to get it out fast. The game plan was for him to get it out fast. It's crazy that he threw as many times as he did when you're just trying to get through that game and not re-aggravate the calf. It sounds like in the presser, Zach was saying, hey, a lot of those were run RPO options that Joe checked out of into the pass. But man, what was it, like 49 passes? We don't need that. You know what? Whatever. I trust Joe. Joe's superpower is getting in and out of the right place at the line of scrimmage, seeing what the defense is reading. The O-line kept him healthy. We did what we needed to do to get a win, and it worked, right? So we are now off the schneid. We are 1-2. A lot of hope back in. A lot of hope back in fans. I know, just checking out these highlights at the end of the game here. There's that late touchdown from the Rams, and hey, man, if Mitchell Wilcox doesn't catch that onside kick, it's getting a little dicey down in that fourth quarter. But the Bengals do pull off the win. Fans are happy. I'm happy. We're starting to see a little bit. We're seeing some receipts coming out on Twitter this morning. Ace and Zim are getting after it, which you love to see on Bengals Twitter. So looking forward to see this broken down in the next few days. Awesome to see a win on the Ring of Honor night. Chad Ochocinco in the Ring of Honor. Boomer Esiason in the Ring of Honor. Awesome to see Willie there and Anthony Munoz. I heard Marvin Lewis was in attendance. And I think PDJ, Paul Dana Jr., said it was his first time back in the stadium since he's been gone. So glad to see him show up for Chad Ochocinco. TJ Hushmanzada was there. Happy to get the win. Happy to get the win. So, guys, hey, just want to say again, welcome in. Normally we're talking about real estate on this channel, but just had a little energy. Wanted to talk about the Bengals win because, again, Eric Sztanyo, the Fanyo. I'll say one more time. I am the self-proclaimed #1 ranked Bengals fan in the Cincinnati Real Estate Agent division. So we might keep this going. We'll see if you guys jump in the chat. We'll see how this views. I'm imagining that the YouTube algorithm, because when I usually post these, gives me about 10 views, 10 views overall. So if my loyal Sztanyo Clanyo subscribers, hey, if you like this content at all, if you're a Bengals fan, then hit that like button for me, because I would love to do these more. And I would love to, because I love talking Bengals and I love helping people in the Cincinnati area looking to buy or sell a house who are Bengals fans, because it's fun. I love talking about the Bengals. So, all right, guys, thanks for indulging me. Great to see that first win. Cincinnati Bengals are now 1-2. Let's see if we can get that next one in Tennessee. Let's see if we can get that calf healed up and keep that momentum going. So there it is. Two-day, guys. Hope you have a great Tuesday. Enjoy that Victory Tuesday. We'll talk to you later.